how do you become more intimate on a deeper level other than just the physical with your spouse?
Well, I think that's when intimacy comes in. When you're connecting on a mental level, or on a, how would you say, not mental,
Spiritual?
Well, spiritual, emotional, and what was the other one that we talked about when we did our podcast? There was a couple, but spiritual, emotional, physical, and I thought there was one more. Intellectual. There you go. When you can connect on those levels, that brings a different type of, well, that's intimacy.
Mm-hmm.
That allows you to connect with your partner on those levels. Whenever you can connect on those levels, and kind of like all cylinders are hitting, right? Everything's going well. If it's just physical, which we've been in that relationship before, or you've gone through that experience where we've had that just physical, where it's based on lust, or it's based on, just getting pleasure, and there's no health that comes from it. But in your marriage, if there's intimacy and you also have the physical connection, then that just increases everything.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that sex is kind of a taboo topic in the Christian world because it's not talked about.
No.
It's not talked about. And probably we have in our notes here that it's mostly for maybe modesty concerns or the desire to keep things kind of private,
I think that is the case because, like you said, in when you're on social media, you're on TikTok, you're on, you're at work and friends are talking to you. There, like you said, sometimes there is no filters.
Mm-hmm.
It's, hey, I did this last night, or I did this last weekend, or whatever. And we've been there. But when like now, you and I, like we talk about our relationship on here, but I don't go talking to my friends and people that I know, but like, hey, man, me and my wife last night, man, she, or whatever the case is, or I did this and that. But that is the modest part, right? Because you don't want to go making it sound like we're just.
And I think it's more than that. Like, to me, if you were to do that, I would find it disrespectful.
Yeah.
For you to go talking to your friends about our sex life like that. Like, there's some things me and my girlfriend share, but it's nothing like, oh my gosh, Jared did this. And no.
Well, and we know what that feels like too.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen that happen to where we've gone somewhere and someone comes in and they're with a friend of ours or someone that we know, and that guy comes and sits down and he's like, we ask him a question, hey, well, what do you like about this person? Mm-hmm. And that response was, oh, man, that coochie's good.
Yeah.
It wasn't so nice to say.
Oh, I remember what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
That is super.
It's very vulgar.
Disrespectful.
Very vulgar.
To the point where we were like, did that person just say that? Like,
yeah.
Did he really just say that?
Very vulgar and disrespectful for sure. And I was just like, what? No way. Yeah. So I appreciate that you don't do that. Thank you.
No, that's bad. Our focus on this is, we're not talking about this to brag on anything that we've got and what we've got going on. But we do want to talk about it because a lot of times this discussion does not come up.
Right.
And in order to have a healthy sex life, in order to have passion in your bedroom, passion with each other, there has to be certain things that are implemented. One of them is communication.
That's for everything in your relationship.
Communication, we talk about that all the time.
Open
communication. Communicate with each other. Be transparent with each other. In our sex life, we do the same thing.